The Medicine of Heartbreak. There is a particular kind of pain that splits the soul open, not because it wounds us beyond repair, but because it breaks the illusion that we were ever separate from love. Heartbreak is one of the most misunderstood initiations on the spiritual path. We think it's about losing a person, but heartbreak is almost never about the other. It is about all the parts of you that were attached to what they symbolized. The dream, the safety, the belonging, the reflection, the fantasy of being finally met. The story that this love would fix what childhood never did. But when that person leaves, or stays and withdraws, or betrays, or collapses, or mirrors back something devastating, we are left not only with grief, but with a spiritual rupture. A reckoning, a shattering, a sacred undoing. And beneath that collapse, a dawn. Part 1, what we think breaks us, frees us. Heartbreak takes you to the edge of yourself, to the part of you that loved with all your being, so much so that you thought this love was your redemption. That if you just held on long enough, proved yourself enough, opened wide enough, gave enough, you would be enough. But heartbreak doesn't only break your heart. It breaks your spiritual codependency. It breaks your illusions. It breaks the subtle, unconscious belief that someone else's love would make you whole. And in doing so, it offers you one of the most painful, most holy gifts of all. The return to yourself. Part 2, when the heart cracks open. No spiritual bypass will work here. No mantra can cover this scream. No high vibe thought can erase this depth. Because heartbreak doesn't ask you to transcend it. It asks you to descend into it. To let your chest be torn apart by truth. To feel the sharpness of absence and name it. To sit with the unbearable longing without fleeing or fixing it. Only through that kind of surrender, raw, unguarded, present, does something miraculous occur. You begin to feel love again. Not just the love you had for them, but the love that was always trying to return to you through you. Part 3, the addictions we call love. Most of us didn't grow up seeing love that was safe, conscious, or regulated. Instead, we grew up learning that love meant performing for approval, abandoning yourself to avoid being abandoned, earning attention through pain or perfection. So when we meet someone who activates our nervous system in familiar ways, it feels like love, but it's often trauma reenactment. We don't fall in love with the person. We fall in love with what we project onto them. The hope that this time the wound will be healed. Heartbreak, then, is the collapse of that projection. The realization that they cannot do what your inner child begged them to. This is not a failure. It's liberation. Because what you once called love was sometimes addiction. What you once clung to was often your own unhealed longing. And heartbreak hands you the mirror. Not to shame you, but to wake you up. Part 4, grieving the fantasy. You are not just grieving a person. You are grieving the version of yourself that believed this love would save you. You are grieving the dream of being met at the level of your soul. You are grieving what might have been. You are grieving the hope that this time it would be different. And that grief deserves to be sacred. Let it flood you. Let it knock you down. Let it teach you how to feel again. Grieving is not regression. It is the body metabolizing reality. And in that process, you return to your deepest capacity for presence. Part 5, the soul contracts we never signed consciously. Not all heartbreaks are mistakes. Some are soul agreements. Some are initiations disguised as betrayals. Some are here to rip away every lie you've ever told yourself about who you need to be loved. And some come to awaken you to what no longer fits your frequency. That person didn't ruin your life. They redirected it. You weren't abandoned. You were delivered back to your own arms. The soul has its own curriculum. And love, true love, often enters through loss. Part 6, Making Meaning Without Bypassing. It's easy to rush to meaning, to say, "It was meant to be. They were just a karmic teacher. I'm better off." But these phrases, if spoken too early, become bypasses. They avoid the heartbreak's necessary descent. There is meaning in pain, but meaning must emerge through experience, not as an escape from it. Let the questions hang open for a while. Why did this happen? What was I really seeking? Where did I abandon myself to be loved? What did I make their presence mean about me? And then ask, what is love that does not leave? What is worth staying for inside myself? What kind of love am I now willing to learn to receive, starting with me? Part 7, From Wound to Portal. The heartbreak doesn't go away. It alchemizes. One day you'll wake up and it won't ache the same way. You'll carry them, but lightly. You'll think of what they taught you and what you taught yourself in their absence. And slowly you will begin to love again. Not just romantically, but in the way you tend to your own being. The way you say no. The way you say yes. The way you show up for the parts of you no one else stayed for. You become the one who stays. Part 8, Letting Go is not abandonment. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to close the door, even if they're still standing at it. You are allowed to stop waiting for them to return with a better version of themselves. You are allowed to release the belief that their love is proof of your worth. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't love deeply. It means you love yourself enough to not hold what no longer holds you. Part 9, You will love again, but differently. Not from need. Not from projection. Not from the echo of wounds. You will love with a nervous system that is learning safety. With a heart that has survived its own dismemberment. With eyes that see clearly, not because they never hurt, but because they finally faced the hurt. That kind of love, that's the kind that changes the world. But it starts with you, holding your own heart in the ruins, breathing, staying, not rushing, becoming. You are the medicine. Your heartbreak was the portal.